It's the final episode of the regular season, y'all. Don't worry, we will be back after a short break, and keep an eye on the feed for special bonus episodes. But today we are making Myrriah come out from behind her producer booth and get on the mic to tell us once and for all who is the gorgeous one. We all know who that is.
Welcome to Me and My Gorgeous Husband. Myrriah has taken over the podcast, and today we're flipping the seat. And I'm going to interview you. Just kidding. Woo! I guess you're interviewing me.
We are interviewing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, Myrriah, I'm curious, how is Snow Bear doing?
Oh, Snow Bear. My original pet?
Yeah.
Oh, she has not been with us for a while.
So she's rested.
Yes. She went to the great farmhouse in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's dark.
You know.
Poor Snow Bear. Rest in peace.
Snow Bear.
Oh my gosh. How did Snow Bear perish? That's what this just turned into like a pet murder mystery podcast. Do those exist?
Yes.
You know more than we
has
would.
to be. True crime's so hot right now. No, when we moved from Canada to Florida, having a giant white Samoa dog didn't fit very well with that change in lifestyle. She was not super, super happy. So when I say she went to the great farmhouse, I think my parents gave her to a farm while we were away at summer camp one year.
While you were away. I love it.
I'm stuck on the part of the story where you moved from Canada to Florida.
Yeah.
That has never been said by anyone in history, and it sounds terrible.
You know, I grew up in a pretty all right town in Florida.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
I'll accept that.
Yeah. My mom, like all good New Yorkers, her family retired to the third tri-state area, which is Florida.
Yes.
And so to be closer to her fam, we moved down there.
It does seem to go that way.
Yeah. It was all they all still have their like Queens, New York accents. None of them have lived there for like 30 years.
Myrriah, go ahead and sample that for us, please. Thank you.
Oh, man. Let's see if I
Oh,
can do
man.
my
You just went full Midwestern on me.
my Uncle Billy justice. I don't know. I don't think I can do it. It's like a whole other level of like accent that I do not have. Like, Cher, where'd you park the car? Cher.
Yeah. I was thinking only of the nanny.
Fucking Trump. Like that's like a good impression.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is like, I think it's funny is all these like kind of conservative New Yorkers, they all fucking hate him so much.
I mean, anyone with good sense.
Yeah.
So.
MaSean, can you do an accent of your family system from Louisiana?
I refuse.
What? Why?
I will say this.
Listen, I will get Myrriah to cut in a Tony Zatter ring.
Isn't that supposed to be like...
He mixed a lot of spices.
Yeah.
It's Tony Chacheri
Okay.
and Zataran.
Okay.
They're different worlds.
I'm
completely.
sure. So give me the accent.
I can't. I'm not doing that.
MaSean.
Seems wholly offensive.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
But I think we're allowed to be offensive to our related white people.
Listen, I can do a Colonial Williamsburg accent like you would not fucking believe. You ready for it? Here we go. Let me find myself. The butter churn is this away.
This away?
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't want to believe in a world where people talk about butter churns.
Oh, yeah. Where the fuck do you think butter comes from?
You can make it in a blender with milk.
When I was in kindergarten, we made it in baby food jars on the floor.
I also like that you think there are people in a factory churning butter by hand.
Yeah.
With the butter churn. That's not happening ever.
Oh, my goodness, MaSean.
It's not. You need to accept this.
You are a dream crusher.
Yeah, for sure. It's what I'm best at. It's a talent.
I used to do ghost tours in Savannah, and I'd put on a really bad Southern accent, so I'd make more tips.
Yes. Did you really work those stories up? Did you elaborate them?
Oh, of course. I had people run out of the carriage house. I would get so afraid.
You turned into a real Scooby-Doo mystery.
Yeah. Take the mask off. Floop. Those meddling kids.
Speaking of Scooby-Doo, I've been watching a lot of the different series of Scooby-Doo, and they do a lot of Louisiana visits, and there's some terribly offensive, accurate accenting going on. I've seen 3 different ones today, and they're all of them.
3 today?
I mean, don't judge, but the Cajun accent was spot on, and
Yeah.
it made me angry. I was like, how dare Scooby dip into this?
You were like, who are you, Casey Kasem?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you do Shaggy?
He did for a long time.
Bro.
Look at me. I'm really getting it. Well, Myrriah, you do a lot of sex positive work. How did you even like get
Yeah.
into this field, girl?
That's a great question.
That's why I asked it.
I think I went to a bedpost confession show and I just had like a really great time and I thought it was a really cool show. And I eventually performed on that show and then sort of just became involved in the community and in helping to spread the good word, if you will.
I don't think I ever saw that. I've been to a couple other shows. I don't think I saw the one where what did you talk about?
It was a combo show we did with this like music podcast. So all of the stories had to have something to do with music. And so my story was about how I thought as my taste in music got better, my taste in partners also got better.
Oh,
Did it peak at Jordan?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
obviously.
What music went with Jordan? Oh.
Chromeo was the song that I paired with Jordan. Yeah. So I had like a musical artist that paired
Whoa.
with each person.
Oh my goodness.
It's funky, a little like with a touch of humor.
Okay.
I have no understanding of music. I'm always amazed when people are like, I sing or I play an instrument. I'm like, how do humans do that?
Yeah. Well, Jordan and I met playing in a band.
What?
I
Oh,
did
you
not
did
know
tell
that.
me this.
Yeah. We got caught in the bass trap.
Wow.
That's what we call Mashan's butthole.
Oh my God.
What?
Anyway,
Listen, I have all the burning questions written down for today. You ready for the next
let's
one?
do it.
Okay. Myrriah.
Yes.
Who was harder to work with, MaSean or me?
Wow. I already know the answer to this.
Neither one of you are hard to work with.
That was super
Okay.
PC.
So, future Myrriah, I'm going to need you to please edit MaSean's name into your own mouth. Thank you.
MaSean. It was MaSean.
It was
For sure.
Adam said MaSean. I love that. Like, so when we first started talking about doing the podcast, I took Myrriah to a drag brunch and literally just gave her a fistful of money.
Yep.
It was like, I guess we're doing this. So Myrriah, you've like seen the podcast like from like the start to where we are now. And I'm really curious about like, what have you noticed about us and our relationship or like our abilities to talk about things? Because you got to like really be in it all.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it's always hard getting anyone, even like seasoned performers, to feel comfortable sharing aspects of their life, with something that is living on the internet forever, right? This isn't just one time performing in front of a stage. Like,
Yeah.
this lives places where anyone can listen to it.
Side note, listen to this. There are times I've made myself cry because I thought at some point MaSean's going to be dead.
Oh God.
And all I'm going to have is this
podcast.
podcast to hold on to.
I mean, it's sort of like I have like voicemails from dead relatives that I keep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
I've
it's like,
done the same.
Yeah.
Also, Adam probably thinks about me dying daily.
Yeah.
So whatever.
I mean, you're so close.
I'm not going anywhere. I've been on this planet for 143 years.
And we'll figure it out. But there is a part of me that was like, oh my God, there's going to be like this really tragic time where one of us is not here and the other one's going to be listening to the podcast while also simultaneously listening to Melissa Manchester's Don't Cry Out Loud. So it's going to be a lot.
That sounds sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about intimate things and relationships can be difficult on microphone. And I think, the longer y'all have been doing this, I think the more natural it feels on mic, less like we've had to plan every segment of this conversation and more like, oh, we can have guiding thoughts and kind of meander and see what comes out and leave it to Myrriah to just do her masterful editing and make it sound great.
I always hope for that.
Yeah. I like that Guiding Thoughts sounds like the name of a gay soap opera.
Yeah. I'd watch it.
This week on Guiding Thought.
It's a logo.
Look at that dick.
Okay. Yeah. That's one commercial. Always back to you.
Did it ever leave me, MaSean? That's
No,
the real question.
Not really.
Brian, you're someone who's been in a long-term relationship for a long time.
Indeed.
And, we talk a lot about relationships on this podcast. And I was curious, like, what do you think has helped your relationship, or what advice would you give to people who are looking to have a long-term relationship?
I mean, I always say don't take things too seriously, because I think if you can't find like ways to laugh about like hard, awkward, weird things that happen when you're with a person for a long time, then it's not going to work. We're all eventually going to fart in front of each other.
Come on now.
Get over it.
MaSean did for the first time like late last year. And I was like, 11 years it took.
You hold on to it for as long as you can. You know?
And then, meanwhile, I'm like laying them on him. I'm like,
I also think, though, there is something to trying to keep something to mystery. And like, it all depends on people and like your circumstances. And I don't judge however people have figured out to be in relationships, be in your relationship. But like, I still do not go to the bathroom with the door open. I'm like,
oh no.
I know people who started doing that like months into relationships with folks. And I'm just like, I mean, like, hold on to something.
The only mystery here is my credit card statement to MaSean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I also close the door every single time.
Yeah.
I have to pee.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is me time. We're going to do
exactly. I'm going to scroll on my phone.
Your whole life is me time.
I mean, mostly. Also, with that being said, I refuse to go to the bathroom with the door open. And we both have people in our lives who will come over and go take a leak
with the door
wide open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at least turn on the vent so the noise will drown out the sound of your urine slamming into the toilet.
I mean,
Thanks.
I think I have like, friends I've known for like 20 years, and we'll all go to the bathroom together. But I'm also like, I don't have to like want to be attracted to you.
Oh,
like.
Okay. I didn't know it was about attraction. Got it.
I don't know.
Myrriah, I'm curious about like we've gotten to get closer in our relationship through doing all of this. What's that been like for you?
I mean, I love our friendship. It's very important to me for sure. I will say sometimes it's like a weird thing and maybe other like artists will sort of understand this, but like when you have friendships where there's also maybe you're doing tasks for each other where there's a monetary exchange. Yeah. And, I think just being very clear about like what is being covered for those services that are being rendered is super helpful. I don't have a hard time talking about money, but I know I've had friendships that did not work out if there was like any sort of money happenings, because it gets weird sometimes if you're not willing to talk about it. For
sure. Even today, because you had to like rent an extra mic, and I was all like, I'm going to pay for your time because you had to like go do that.
But yeah, so it's just like figuring out what you feel comfortable with. But there are those like, people have dark days when you're just like, I don't have friends. They all just pay me to hang out. Like, or I have to get paid to hang out with people. Like, it can be weird. Yeah.
Interesting.
Myrriah, I did come up with a game for us to play today.
Ooh,
are you ready for this?
Games.
Yeah.
You say that now.
How well do you know us? Let's see.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to ask you questions.
I mean, I love trivia. I wish I had known beforehand, because I am a studier before trivia.
You could not study for these. So
Shit.
we have questions that it's just one of us. You have to guess which one of us this is pertaining to.
Okay.
So number 1, who is freeballing during this interview?
Oh, you.
That is incorrect.
Oh, dang.
I don't know. 99% of the time, I put on underwear. I have a whole collection of incredibly nice underwear you should check out. For whatever reason,
Today,
I just did not.
Just feeling it.
Yeah, I don't
All
know.
right.
I feel like it was mostly out of laziness.
I love that I was the one.
I know.
I knew. I was like, that's going to get
I honestly was like, whose pants look tighter? Like, because sometimes that's the, you don't want the panty line showing.
Oh, I would have never even thought about that. That's a good clue.
Oh, here we go. Which one of us had the most recent hookup?
I feel like there's an obvious answer, but I'm worried because it's the obvious answer that it's not the answer. And I know you've been working all day, and you had today off.
When the giraffe's away, the meerkat will play.
I like that. I like all the factors that come into the decision making.
That's very methodical.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Man. I mean, I'm going to go with, I think, the safe bet and say Adam.
That is correct. Listen, I have a new sub.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
Yeah. I have like a new sub who lives across the street.
Yeah.
He literally just walks over here. It's amazing.
My gosh.
You're just like, he left 20 minutes ago before you got here with equipment.
It's like Uber ass.
Yeah.
He just comes straight to your door.
Listen, MaSean, when it comes to ass, convenience is a key factor.
Oh.
Would you go to Pflugerville to have a hookup?
No.
Yeah.
I
right?
actually
None
have
of
a
us.
close friend in Pflugerville that I have not visited in like 6 years.
How is your mom?
Not her. I talked to her earlier, though.
MaSean, when was your last hookup?
Did you really have to ask that?
Yeah, because
It was-
you're not contributing much otherwise.
Yeah, I think it was like in March of 2019.
For the viewers at home, Adam is now making his wow face.
Fingers and a W on either side of his
mouth,
O
fingers.
Who was it? All right, Myrriah, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Who recently cut their own hair?
MaSean.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
She's like, he is currently sitting in front of me with a haircut I've never seen on him before. And obviously it was done by his own hand. Yeah. Last Saturday night I had a Britney moment and was feeling weird all day and had a few drinks and thought, you know what?
Just going to go for it.
Fuck it. I'm going to shave this shit off.
And then you asked me to join in.
Oh, yeah. I did need, there was a certain point in which I needed help.
There's parts of the head you can't reach.
So I shaved MaSean's testicles.
They needed it.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Whose most recent nude included a full spread of their booty?
Adam.
Oh.
No.
Swing and a miss.
Also a wing and a mesh.
First of all, Myrriah, how dare you? I'm a blouse. Do you think the men that I dominate want to see that? They do not.
Oh my gosh.
I was almost thinking more if it was like a wrestling singlet might have been involved, but I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Are you going to pull it up right now? Yes.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I am. I'm going to show Myrriah.
Yeah.
I mean, but this might take a second because I don't have it at hand. Also, you discounted you as a possibility because you're a blouse.
Yeah.
Do people know what a blouse is?
Yeah.
Oh.
They know me.
Okay. Anyway.
A
feel like
feminine
you should-
top.
For the listeners at home, I think you should define a blouse.
It's a feminine top.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not even a top. I'm verse, but like my kitten takes a lot of work. Most hookups aren't ready for that, right? Like if you come over and I'm like, look, here's the deal. You're gonna have to worship it for 30 minutes minimum if you want even opportunity for that. The last time I bought them for a hookup, this is so good.
Sounds like Catholic Church. Terrible. I'm not worshiping anything for 30 minutes ever again.
This guy was a administrator for an elementary school. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm like riding his dick, he's like, you're doing so good. This feels so good. I'm so proud of you. And like,
He live yelped you.
literally like gave me like a gold star. I'm like, oh, I can tell you work with children and it's working. I was like, I am doing so good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said,
Yes.
me having a picture of my ass is super weird because I've literally shared it with no one.
I'm the only one who's ever seen it.
Wow.
Myrriah, do you want to see it?
I think I'm okay.
She's
Okay.
like, no, I'm good.
She's like, it's done.
Yeah.
I believe it's a work of art.
Listen, it is a nice peach.
But-
Honestly, I would never share a picture that wasn't so good. It's unbelievable because
That's what I
I
figured.
have crippling self-hatred. So there's that. Anyway,
Michelle, you take those just for you?
I guess.
Do you put that like in a scrapbook? Do you print it out at Walmart and then you get it and you...
I have a Dropbox that saves pictures and videos. Yeah.
How do I get access to this Dropbox?
I could hand you my phone and you can dig through it.
Oh, girl. My
Yeah.
spank bank is about to be full up.
There's probably a shit ton of pictures that not only you have never seen, but no one else.
That's like do you remember like on IMAX, the old like camera roll, like when everyone got really into just taking pictures of themselves on the little webcam on your MacBook, like laptop?
No.
Was this just an art school thing?
Yeah, I have no idea what
It
that
was like
is.
everyone I knew, we were always just taking like very moody selfies with our MacBooks.
Oh, okay.
There's like a lot of cloud backgrounds.
like I never did the backgrounds. It was just like it was like before there was selfie cams, like front facing cameras on cell phones, and so it was like the only way you could actually take a selfie and be able to see yourself at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Myrriah, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Which one of us has a nightly facial routine?
Oh, both of you.
That it's not a both.
That's
either
that's
or.
a good
I felt like
answer,
that was a
though.
trick question.
It is not.
Seems like one. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Michelle.
Is it because my skin is so beautiful?
I mean, I think because you have a level of self-hatred that would require a certain amount of moisturizer.
Ouch, but true. I mean, I'm not the one.
Not saying that you both don't take beautiful care of your skin, but
It's me. I wish you were dead.
I'm so simple and small town that I could just never.
then you're the kind of person that I hate, because I also spend I hate having to deal with my face at night, but I know I should do it. And so I have like the fancy fucking cleanser, and I've got the jojoba oil that I smear all over my face, and like the
Yeah.
rose quartz roller to like depuff my face.
Nice. I mean, I should do all that. I'm just super fucking lazy, and there's a lot of ways in which I'm very straight dude, and one of those is I'm not doing things to my face.
I know, like
Well, that and you call pussies puss.
I call them puss holes. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. I would never
You're like
say
the
that.
most like polite person. You'd be like, "Excuse me, madam, may I taste your vulva?"
Yeah, that.
there's also like, though, apparently folks with like a lot of French heritage only wash their faces with water, and it's like much better for their skin than doing a bunch of cleansers.
You're absolutely right, and I've described that to people who question my routine. I'm like, there's no routine. The thing is I can only wash my face once a day. If it needs to happen after that because I'm super sweaty because I ran or went to the gym or whatever, only water. Like, I cannot wash my face more than once a day. I'm an oily pig. That's just how my face works, and I'm never going to do extra. So, yeah. Maybe it is a French thing.
Yeah.
May we?
Yeah.
Away. I'm sorry, Adam.
What is that? How? Oh, you're apologizing to
Yeah,
me. You should
for not acknowledging your skincare routine.
listen. It's not the first time you let me down, Myrriah. Here we go.
Oh my
What?
gosh. Ouch. Wow.
Ooh, the truth come out on a podcast,
That got
bitch. Just kidding. Myrriah's like the easiest person to work with.
She is. I don't meet a lot of people or like a lot of people. And in this particular instance, I was sort of pushed into meeting Myrriah because otherwise I would never have, because I don't go out or
Maybe
meet
go
people.
full Snagglepuss in this. I love
Yeah,
it.
sorry. But yeah, I got to say, it's been pretty fantastic. She's a lovely person.
Yeah.
I'll let her live.
Thanks.
All right, Myrriah, we have
now.
one more, and you have to decide.
Okay.
Think carefully, especially after your last answer.
No pressure.
Which one of us would you say is the gorgeous one?
I can't say because it gives away the mystery of the show. I think the very last episode that we ever do of this show is when we reveal who the gorgeous one is.
That is the best answer ever. I love it.
I can't give away the secret of the podcast.
Future Myrriah. Just go ahead and put my name in here. That's what's going to save you.
So, when people that I work with stumble onto the fact that there's a podcast I'm a part of, and they want to know the title so they can listen, and I tell them the title, and they're like, "Oh, which one of you is it?" No answer ever. I'm like, not doing this. Not taking part in that answer.
I'm always like, me. Are we unclear on this?
I just like that it can refer to either of you.
It
Yeah.
could.
I mean, that's the mystery of it.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll go to the Instagram page and instantly think, well, it's definitely not MaSean. There's so many terrible pictures of me on there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because you don't take pictures.
yeah, you know.
Open that Dropbox to me. Maybe we get some good ones.
We could, yes, you could post some thirst traps on there.
Yes. Oh, my God.
If there's one thing in the world I'm good at, it's only that.
Listen, y'all, if you want to see thirst trap pictures of MaSean,
Make sure.
make sure
are
that you
following.
write in a review.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah.
we get 2 reviews requesting it, I will post a thirst trap of you.
Done.
There we go.
I will, surrender that picture. Let's do it. Because right now I'm clutching it with all my might.
Oh my God.
I am the one that would be terrified of that, but we'll do it. Let's do it.
Ridiculous. I love it. So last night I was at a party, and one of the people that got to meet me is someone who listens to the podcast. It was really an interesting phenomenon to have someone who knows so much about you casually interact with you. And one of the questions I had as we were all just hanging out and talking, and I think it's a great question for here, is where's like the worst place that we have fucked? Like, because here's the deal. I am 38 now, and these knees have seen a lot of things. If I show up at a hookup's house and it's a Tempur-Pedic bed, bitch, I don't know if you ever fucked in a Tempur-Pedic.
You just sink right in.
Yeah, like there's no bounce back. Like, I'm an old gay. I need a fucking trampoline.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
If you want me to like take you to Pound Town, give me a mini tramp. But where's some of the worst places?
Also, I will say that if the worst place you've ever fucked is on a
Tempur-Pedic
Tempur-Pedic mattress,
bed, yeah.
you've had a charmed life, motherfucker.
Listen, Michelle, we all can't be from Louisiana.
You ever fucked knee deep in the swamp?
You're like, I put my dick out. I found out it was Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Look over your back for those ratons de bois.
I was fisting the alligator.
Oh, my God.
And I said, ooh-wee.
I
knew I could get her to do it. Yes.
I think the worst for me was the back of a 2-door Honda Accord.
Oh.
It's not good.
Yeah, Honda.
Whose stepmom let you use their car?
It was my car.
Oh, all right.
You know.
You're like, I'm just making things happen.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's both. Maybe it's the worst and the best place that I've ever fucked was on a university elevator in the music hall. Like, kind of interesting and exciting, but also terrifying and nerve-wracking, and I don't need that kind of stress in my life. I feel like I have a bad heart. I don't need to hit the emergency stop on an elevator so I can fuck and worry about people punching the button and seeing.
Yeah. You're already anxious enough.
Yeah. I don't need that in my life.
You're like, we don't have to push this any further up.
Terrible. I was like, let's get this over with fast. Yeah.
I feel like that's your whole perspective on sex in general.
That's my whole perspective on life.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
just
this
racing.
over
It's a
with.
sprint to everlasting death.
Sprint to the end. Let's get this done.
Listen, we're going to do a PSA for the kids right now. Young people, if you're
Stretch.
listening. Your knees are a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate them while you can.
Do it.
Put a pillow underneath them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Don't-
you're 38 or whatever age MaSean is,
Much higher.
it's just dust and griddle.
Yeah. Don't be ashamed to grab 2 throw pillows and put them under each knee. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Save your knees.
I was watching, do y'all watch High Maintenance, that TV show on HBO?
No.
Anyway, the last episode, they're like small vignettes about people who live in New York City. And the one this week featured an intimacy coordinator who work on like TV and movie sets to help make sure everyone's comfortable with like sex scenes that are happening or any sort of like physical touching.
Yeah, that's like a relatively new job that definitely happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely newer and should have been established longer. But there was like a fun montage where she's like going around helping people, and one of them was like a simulated blowjob scene, and so she's going and putting pillows under the girl's knees.
Nice. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love it.
it was great.
And honestly, he won't care. He just wants the blowjob.
Yeah,
You take all the comfort you need.
that's why it's called a job.
Yeah.
It's work.
For sure.
What are some things you wish people had taught you about sex when you were like coming of age? I mean, for me, just the idea of being more than monogamous would have been really useful.
For sure. That would have been helpful.
I think I realized it, but I didn't like understand and have like the wordage for it for a really long time. Even in the beginning of our relationship, Michelle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, if anyone would have taught me anything, just one thing, one single thing about sex, that would have been useful and appreciated. But no, I didn't. I mean, I never got anything at all.
I feel like if you would have asked your parents about sex, they'd have been like, "Look, there's a crawdad over there." It would have been like the distraction.
They're full swamp people. My dad did have the sex talk with me.
What was that like?
It was super scientific. Like there was a full, like, it was as if a doctor sat you down and was like, "This is how sex works." Yeah, I mean, it was like there were pictures that all came from books. Yeah, it was very explanatory, but from a science perspective, which was fine. I mean, at least something happened. He knew there was something that needed to be talked about, and he did it to the best of his ability. But was it real world or useful? Absolutely not.
What was the chapter on cream pies like?
He did not cover cream pie.
Oh.
Or felching.
Oh.
Or frottage. Nothing.
Frottage.
Yeah.
That's French for cheese.
Yes. I mean, it could be.
Yeah. That's
But
what
it
they say
is-
in
it's
France
not.
when you take a
Close.
picture. They're all frottage.
No, it's not.
Camembert frottage. Yeah.
Close, but no cigar.
Michelle, you don't know.
I don't.
You haven't even been out of the country, baby.
Myrriah, what do you wish you would have known?
You know, I'm trying to remember, like, I guess the sex talk just wasn't that, like, traumatic because I don't really remember it, like, beat to beat. I do remember getting this book that was, like, your body is changing.
Oh,
And it was, like,
for sure.
I think it was from, like, American Girl. And it's still something a lot of folks...
The people that make the
dolls?
dolls?
Yeah, I think it was from them. Like, legitimately. But it was, like, very useful. And I think it gets updated. I've seen, like, a recent one because there used to be a thing about, like, how to shave. And it was, like, some people choose to shave, like, their armpits or your, like,
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I thought you meant like your not legs.
Not legs. No, it
Michelle,
had
what
stuff
part of the
about
body
that, too.
is not legs?
It had stuff about, like, how to shave your bikini line and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
sweet.
Yeah. and
Michelle,
it was-
could you help me understand what part of the body is not legs?
I was trying to avoid saying pussy. Sorry.
Oh.
not
You can say
legs.
vulva.
Oh, yeah.
You can say secret garden.
Oh,
You
okay.
can say muffin.
Muffin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, it was a lot of stuff on, like, how to deal with new body hair and
Yeah.
like how to put in a tampon
Oh.
and like all that fun
I
stuff.
mean, they're doing necessary
how,
work.
how have we not? I mean, I know a lot about sexism. How have we not made a new version of a tampon yet that is like more comfortable?
I mean, everyone's super into Diva cups, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, they are another. If you cannot find yourself a single occupancy stall,
Oh, yeah.
it is some extra layers of work.
Stop.
Hammer time.
As a male, there are bathrooms for females that don't have a single occupancy stall? Wait, what does that
Well,
mean?
like you would want a bathroom where the sink is in the same
oh, yeah,
place
yeah, yeah.
as the toilet.
You're right. That makes sense.
Because you have to dump it out and then
Yeah.
like rinse it and then shove it back up there.
True.
So yeah, but yeah, tampons are terrible. All menstruation products are not great,
Yeah.
but yeah, you deal with it. My biggest problem, anyway, this is gonna
Yeah.
get like,
Yeah, I'm
No,
here
I
for
wanna
it.
hear
Give it
this.
to
I
us.
was just like, my thing. So I've been trying to use more like the organic cotton tampons because there's this whole thing about how they don't list the ingredients on regular, but the fucking applicators suck.
Wait, how is it different from other applicators?
It just doesn't push
'Cause it's-
up enough. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't tell if
It's-
it's like actually come out of the applicator. And then I'm like pulling it out. I'm like, well, now I have to like open up another fucking tampon.
It's a branch from an apple tree, Michelle.
You just push it up there.
And I'm like, there has to be better application technology. Than
Why
what
do
we
you think
have.
it's different from regular tampons? Like, why would they even change
I think
that?
because it's just flimsier plastic. I think they're
Oh.
trying to use like and I get it. Like they're trying
Got
to
it.
use like recycled plastic and
Yeah.
all these things that are better for the environment. The paper ones also just fucking suck because it's just
Yeah.
like you're just drying out your pussy every time.
Yeah.
True.
I like it where like, go green, bitch, I'm gonna go red because this motherfucker is gonna bleed all over the
Yeah.
place. They
Yeah.
don't have an applicator that works.
Yeah, man, there's a lot to consider there.
Yeah. And then there's like folks who can do applicator lists, but that's not always an accessible option for everyone. So you have to make sure it's useful.
Yeah, I feel like there's not enough people working on this.
Never.
Yeah.
Women's products,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truth hurts.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because I had to learn how to use a tampon like very early because I did athletics like in like middle school and high school. And it was like if you couldn't, it just like really hindered your ability to do it. Because I was on the swim team, you cannot wear
No.
a menstrual pad.
Yeah,
in the
no,
pool.
it seems.
So for folks who menstruate, it is hard out there.
I am curious. Can we talk about our sexual debuts?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Do it.
Yeah. Mine's was wild. Have I talked about this before?
I mean, probably, but my memory is terrible.
I know. It's like being married to a goldfish. It's great.
Yeah, I'm Dory.
Um, Mine was in Columbus, Ohio, of all places. I was living in like a Christian guy's house. And there was this website called Out in Columbus. And I got on there and started talking to someone. And I was probably 22. And they were a wrestler who was not out, an Italian, and lived in a frat house. And so he came over. And
That all sounds hot.
yeah. And he came over and we pretended that we worked together. And then when everyone went to sleep,
Ooh.
we wrestled. And I blossomed into womanhood.
That sounds messy.
Sounds like a nice sexual debut.
Yeah,
It
for
was really
sure. I mean,
lovely.
people have had way worse.
It's also called a cocktailian, if you're gay.
Cocktail.
I'm taking credit for that.
Okay.
It's literally recorded because I said it on a podcast.
Did you?
earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
You stole it
Yes.
from me.
Ah, fuck me.
We're going to pretend that you knew that.
Myrriah, can you
Erase that.
can you erase MaSean's rightness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yours, Myrriah?
Oh, I was like in 16 or 17. I don't remember when another 16 or 17
You just
year old.
fucking Sound of Music dust.
16 going on
17, something like that. Yeah, it was in my bed at my parents' house on like probably like a Friday night after school with the person I was dating in high school.
In your parents' house?
Yeah, my parents are pretty like
You're bold.
liberal, chill. You know, I'd been seeing like a boy for a while, and so my mom was like, we're gonna take you to the doctor and you're gonna learn about birth control and all that stuff. So yeah.
Interesting.
So I felt fairly prepared. And I remember I told my mom like a week later, and she was like, okay, well now you're going on birth control. So
Oh.
yeah.
That is kudos to your parents.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, you know,
My parents were super helicopter parents in a lot of ways. So that happening at my house was never going to be a thing. They were always in the mix.
yeah.
So
I mean, I was allowed to have like a boy in my room with the door shut, you know, so.
I can't even imagine.
My older brother was such a handful, and my parents had such a hard relationship with each other that by the time I was of age for anything, they were like, just come home before the sun's up. We don't really care.
Yeah, I think, well, so my parents were, or are, they're not married anymore, but they were 10 years apart in age. And so my dad was 23 when I was born.
Whew.
And my mom was obviously
13.
33.
Yeah, cougar status,
Canadian.
baby.
That's like Canadian crimes. I love it.
Yeah. How do you say cougar in French? I do not know.
But so I think they were always just like, you know, stuff. They were rambunctious folks. My
Yeah.
mom was like a pretty spectacular lady in the village in New York in the 60s and 70s. We'll just,
Yeah, get it, girl.
you know, she's grad. So
I like it.
I remember she started buying because like, and then my brother and I are pretty close in age. And so I remember when he started having a serious girlfriend, she just bought like condoms at Sam's Club, and there's just like a box in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That is.
it was chill.
I have a
Yeah.
colleague that was like, yeah, when my kids are of age, I'm just going to have a bowl full of condoms and they can take whatever they want, whenever they want. And there's no questions. And I'll
Yeah.
just keep it full until they leave the house.
Because my mom was just like, it's way easier to just make sure you're fucking safe than to deal with the repercussions if you're not.
Mhm.
So
Huh. Interesting. What's of age?
it depends on the state. I think like 16, 17 is when my parents were kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Right, but
fine.
people can
I'm
have
using-
sex long before that.
Yeah, I'm using the term of age as in like when that person feels ready to like
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
explore.
Yeah, how do you even know, though, if you're going to put out a bowl of condoms?
Well, because you know, hopefully have been having an ongoing relationship and conversation with your kid about their bodies and sexuality and sex.
oh, you
and so when
expect them
they-
to be honest.
Well, if you make it okay from the get-go,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Right?
think so.
I think it was once we started bringing home like people we were dating regularly is when that became pretty open in our household.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
I think, you know, the kind of goal now in parenting in more like progressive circles is to teach your kid like, hey, I'm in your corner. Sex is not something we have to feel shame about talking about. And when you are feeling ready for that, it's a conversation we can have. And I want to be a support to you.
Yeah. I do wish though there was more, you know, and it's like I feel like such a privilege coming from what I had. Like there wasn't a lot of shame, but it was still very heteronormative. And I think because of like the late 90s, early 2000s, it was always that like you were either gay or straight, and like the concept of bisexual. Like I still remember there was like the bisexual episode of like Sex and the City or something, and I remember one of my parents being like, bisexuals are just greedy, and I was like, wow. You know, so you know,
I thought Calvin Klein invented it for
selling underwear.
CK1. Yeah.
I mean,
I just saw, did you see
like he did.
on Twitter, it's been trending this past week where it was like in 1995, there's the cover of Time magazine was about bisexuality. And we're all like, you didn't know bisexuality was invented in 1995?
Wild. I like, Myrriah, that you think I use Twitter for anything other than porn.
Yeah.
It is literally
I'm on
all
it
I
way too
follow.
much.
Used to.
Way too much.
Yeah.
My other favorite thing this week has been gay Twitter all upset that the RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars is going to be on Showtime instead of on VH1 this season.
Oh, man.
I had no idea.
So the regular season will be on VH1. All Stars is going to be on Showtime. And they're all like, we're poor. How do we do it? And I'm just like, just talk to your lesbian friends, because we all managed during the L word.
We did it. We
figured it out.
There's a way.
I was like, you all just sign up for the free trial for a week. And then when you go to try to leave, they give you 2 more free weeks. And then you all just take turns creating logins.
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a gay.
Yeah,
You can get in there.
exactly.
When you talk about your sexual debut, does that mean like
Whatever that means to you, sweetie.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like full.
I think because of the way it was like presented to me, I think of it as the first like P and V.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Oh my God, y'all, if that is the case,
The story has
Newsflash.
changed.
Someone is still on the market.
yeah,
It's true. There's a gold star.
or like,
Oh, I don't like that term.
or
but
like
yeah.
penetrative, I guess, sex.
Wait, why don't you like
That's why it
gold
was-
star gay?
Oh, because it creates this idea that is somehow better than people who have had sex with folks of multiple genders.
Oh,
So it creates like a hierarchy that I'm not here
Yeah.
for.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see it that way.
that and I think it just, I don't know, it makes me feel less like icky about the fact that I think the first time I participated in like oral sex was when I was much younger than 16.
Oh, okay.
I was like 13.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Yeah. You're working it out.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I like 13-year-old Myrriah.
She was wild.
I was wild.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So
We're like hard transition.
Did your cousin from New York just make it into here?
yeah,
so,
the first time I had sex with a girl is was in high school.
Oh, was it with the lady first
Yeah, she was a girl.
and a lady in the end?
I mean,
I'm gesturing towards myself for
I don't know
those
about
who are
that.
not watching at home.
it was
Yeah. Started with a lady.
she was left. She had no parents for the weekend, and so
you
well,
just
like,
made it sound like it was the saddest story ever.
well, I mean, most people don't leave their kids at home alone, or at least in my experience, because my parents were always
Oh.
there. They don't leave their kids alone home for the whole weekend.
I was
man.
latchkey to the max, dude.
Oh yeah,
I also got left home alone for the weekend.
I figure that's a thing that did not exist in my house. So anyway, she was alone for the weekend, so I went over, and that happened.
Did you go with the plan where you're like, I'm gonna knock this pussy out, or were you like,
No,
let's
I was
just hang out and see what happens?
I feel like in her head that was definitely the plan, and so I mean I delivered, but in my head I wasn't
Fucking
sure.
dominoes over here.
Yeah, 30 minutes or less, baby. Shouldn't be bragging about that. So yeah, in my head I just was gonna go over and see what happens, but yeah, I think she had a plan
I feel like that is how a lot of your sexual adventures
for
happen.
sure.
You're like, I'm
I
just
don't-
gonna go over.
look. I don't assume anything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll show up, we'll chat, we'll see what happens. I'm always looking for an exit strategy. I have a lot of anxiety. So
You do.
there's that. But yeah, aside from her, yeah, I fooled around with a few guys in high school too. I was all over the place. So
Yeah. That's why I like you.
yeah. I'm frisky and loose.
Yeah. I'm here for all of it.
Anyway, nothing too exciting or interesting.
Yeah. Myrriah,
Yes.
we're wrapping up our season here. if there was like one word of wisdom that you want to leave to MaSean, what would you want to leave him with?
Me specifically.
Well, we're gonna get to me.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to like overwhelm.
All right.
I think for someone who brands themselves as an introvert, you are willing to share a lot about yourself, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It is a contradiction of sorts.
But I think it probably also helps that we're all just like sitting around on couches or in small recording spaces and not like in front of people. But
True.
I still think it's, it's been nice to watch you sort of break your shell open a bit.
Yes. Sometimes I open up, especially if there's liquor.
It's so funny because there's definitely a side of you that I get to see that I think from the outside people might look at our relationship and be like, "Oh, poor Adam, like his husband likes to stay at home or doesn't
do
emotion."
anything with him or whatever."
And I'm like, "No, you don't know like the fun that we get to have," and so I get to see that side that you're talking about often. And it's really wild, and you feel like real privileged when you get to like be a part of it.
And I think I kind of feel that too because my spouse is also a person who doesn't enjoy like really large crowds or like we often do things separately, and I don't think that's. I was like, what else are you going to come home and talk about if you're doing everything together all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jordan and I have some things in common. We could be good friends.
Yeah. He was stoked. I think he's going to come over later because he's been jonesing to play Switch with you.
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely.
I love it.
We'll Mario Kart it up.
Oh. I was like, y'all are going to see a really ugly side of Myrriah if we play Mario Kart.
Adam too, yeah.
Oh, I don't feel like I have an ugly side. Thank you.
He's competitive and loves to win.
Same.
As does MaSean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Place your bets now.
Oh, I guarantee with the new Mario Kart, there's no predictability.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like old school one, I could be like, I dominate you.
I got the formula.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I met a friend that I work with who has the formula because he made it clear. He won round after round after round after round, no matter how good I did. I was like, okay, this is annoying. So we'll discuss later.
Yeah, well, off mic.
I love it. Myrriah, same question for me.
I mean, I've really liked getting to know you outside of just like 20 minutes before we're performing at you're performing at a show that I'm working on. It's been really nice. And I think, you want words of wisdom or advice? Okay. I mean, I think you do a really good job at this and that you're just someone who really likes to share their personal experiences. And so I think my only advice would be to like figure out what experiences you want to keep for yourself that you don't share with the world. Because I think, especially as someone who's been in this field for a long time, it can sometimes feel like, ooh, I think that's something I want to keep for myself.
Yeah.
And just figuring out what those boundaries are.
It's a hard one.
It's hard.
I think for me, I've learned because of my experiences in the church, right, where I was like welcomed and then I was myself. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, that is not okay with us. A way that I've learned to navigate the world is to be like, I'm just going to put everything out there all the time.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like it, then I don't have to deal with the heartache of letting you close and then being told you have to hide that piece or that's too much. And so it is a challenge to be like, hi, I'm radically authentic. What is just for me?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's figuring out what those pieces are that are like, because there are ways to be radically authentic, but still have like, it doesn't, not like parts of yourself, but just like memories or like experiences that you are like, oh, these are just for me.
This is just going to be mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then we got to work on a book deal. Book deal is my next goal for Adam.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You're going to ghostwrite it? Thanks.
I can edit it. I'm actually a fantastic editor. We'll work on
I love it. Myrriah, my experience with you has been really wonderful. I think I'm always drawn to people who do the heavy lifting behind the scenes because I know that work is A, often thankless, and B, you need smart, capable people to do it. And so it's easy to like go on stage at bedpost or like be the voice here and be funny or fabulous or any of those things. it also takes a really lovely and smart and I think kind person to say, hey, I can be a support to that. I like your message. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Let me get behind it. And if I was going to give you a word to the wise, continue to own your worth.
Yeah.
I think it's easy when people are creative, work in the creative field, right? For folks to like go, oh, you can just do this.
Right.
That's nothing, right? You're just gonna turn on the mic. Like they don't fully know. And so I'm always going to be in your corner as a big old loud voice. It's like, bitch, they need to respect you. Like you do good work. This show worked really well because you edited it in a way. I mean, there were times where we had pieces of segments that we recorded months apart, and you found a way to put it together that was really meaningful and lovely and told a whole narrative. And that's not shit you can just like magically teach someone. That's stuff that someone kind of knows, and that is valuable. Yeah. And I want to make sure that gets paid.
Agreed. It's innate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys.
Oh, thanks. I'm like, if you can produce a show that makes me sound not boring or out of place, then congrats, girl, because I am struggling over here. Need all your helps.
Take that, This American Life.
Yes.
Just kidding, Ira Glass, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Please.
We appreciate it.
We love you. We're a fan of the show.
I've listened to it all. We're on board.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to take a little break from doing podcasts for a minute.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break, get through the bananas of the South by season.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to get worked hard.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be like 100-hour work week during South by. Gets a little bananas.
And I need a break just because I've been building up my private practice. And so it full up a lot and was like, oh, okay, I do a lot of things. Can I catch my breath for a minute?
Yeah, it's good. Leave them wanting more, right?
Yeah.
You know? So we'll be back in a couple months.
Yeah. It's going to be beautiful and wonderful. And
I'm going to just record y'all on your European vacation.
Perfect.
Yes.
And I just want to take a moment to thank the people who are listening. You know, we don't get a lot of time on this planet, and the fact that you would take some of it to connect with us and hear our silly and meaningful stories and some of our wisdom and some of our challenges is a really beautiful thing. Yeah. And so thank you for sharing your time with us because, baby, we don't got long.
Yes, d'accord.
That's true. But yeah, people should share this show with someone they think would appreciate it. Maybe it would provide them some levity or advice or good information. And, you know, there's a nice little back catalog now. So go back and re-listen.
Yeah. Catch up.
Up those download numbers for us. We are still currently looking for advertisers.
Yes. Yeah. Kettle One. Thank you.
I know.
Any charcuterie and or alcohol companies that are interested.
Antonelli's Cheese.
Oh,
we see you.
A dream.
Yep.
Ridiculous. Well, I love you both to death. Thank you for doing all this with me. I know I am not always the easiest person to work with, but that's what happens when you're the gorgeous one. See you all next season.
Thank you.
Bye.
Me and My Gorgeous Husband was brought to you by Myrriah Gossett, MaSean Fontenot, and Adam Marr.
Done.
Just kidding. Hey, if you like our podcast, make sure you rate and review us on Apple Podcasts because, bitch, that's how we get found. That's how more people find the deliciousness that is moi.
Yeah, tune in and help us out. God damn it.
Yeah, lend a hand out, you piece of shit.
I've been telling everybody to rate us. I don't know if it's happening, but if it hasn't, I'm going to murder them all.